Hello Year 11, this is your A-Level Physical Education Guide or PE Guide to introduce you to the subject so you understand what it's about. Obviously we'd normally do this at the open evening, but we have to do it remotely, so I've done a little voiceover to give a bit more information as well as the slides that you'll see. Okay, so the course structure, it is a 2-year course. We do internal exams in Year 12 with internally assessed practical and coursework. When you sit your A-level exam in Year 13, you will do 2 papers, 2 external examinations. First one is Scientific Principles of PE. I'll go into more detail about these papers in the next few slides. And the second paper is Psychological and Social Principles of PE. And then you have your practical performance, which makes up 15% of your overall mark, and is you assessed in your skills within a sport, any sport that's on the specification, as a player or performer, or in your skills performed as a coach. So taking a team, what you do as a coach, how you review games, how you reflect on them. And then the last bit, the last 15%, is your coursework, which is a performance analysis. So you look at your performance or someone's performance and you analyse how well they do. And then you come up with a performance development program where you make them a better player and you try and work out how to improve that performance and to develop an aspect of their performance. So paper 1, as I said, I'll go into more detail now. So it's anatomy and physiology. It is basically human biology. I know that when I've looked at the schemes of work and the curriculum for A-level biology, we cover exactly, more or less exactly the same content. So it is similar to the biology A-level. So they do go quite well hand in hand, which I'll come on to later as well. So it includes the different physiological body systems, so skeletal, muscular, respiratory, cardiovascular, neuromuscular, and energy systems. It also has some biomechanics involved, so Newton's laws and the levers, which is a thoroughly enjoyed part of the paper in GCSE level. Exercise physiology section, so there's 2 sections to the paper. The exercise physiology section is on diet, nutrition, training methods, fitness testing, injury rehab, and then all the motions and biomechanics, so linear motion, angular motion, projectile motion, and fluid mechanics. The first section is more about the science side of it. So as I said, it links in very closely to biology. So the biology A-level and human biology A-level are very similar in what they teach. Apart from that, with human biology, I know you do things like digestive system and other systems which we don't look at because we don't look at it in terms of, we only look at it in terms of PE. With the exercise physiology section, this is how diet affects our training, how training affects performance, injuries affect performance, and how we can build upon that. In paper 2, which is the psychological and social principles, a lot of it again crosses over with other subjects, obviously psychology, the one being here, but also looks at aspects of sociology and also society and also history of sport. So the first part of this paper, so this paper is split into 3 sections. You have skill acquisition, where you talk about skills as a coach and a performer, not just skills that people pick up. The classification of these skills, learning theories, practices, guidance, feedback, and memory models. So some of the psychological based factors there. Then sports psychology, so factors that influence individuals. So when taking a penalty, what does someone think about when they're taking it? What types of performer do we have? So are you someone who needs to achieve and someone who needs to do well and strives to do well, or do you try and avoid failure? Okay. So there's different aspects that you look at and different things that you compare. Attribution theory, confidence, self-efficacy, and leadership. We also look at team and group dynamics in this, which is the aspects that you look at. So if you're in a team, you'll notice there's certain individuals. There's someone who acts as a leader, okay? Someone who takes a back step. So someone who does something called social loafing, which is basically they sit in the background doing as little as possible, but then will try and contribute or look like they're contributing. Then the last section is sport and society. So as I said, this links into sociology. It looks at the media, looks at the commercialisation of sport, ethics and deviance. So why did Lance Armstrong cheat? Why do athletes choose to cheat? What are the outcomes of them doing that? and also looking at social life. So how does participation in sport change? How has lockdown affected participation in sport? Why has cycling become such a big sport during lockdown? Okay, so what's the participation from England as a nation? So I've already mentioned a couple of these that PE links to. However, what I would generally say, it's actually involved in everything. Your everyday life involves PE. So studying it further and looking at the aspects of it, in particular the socio-cultural aspects and also the human biology aspects of PE, it obviously will link into everything to do with your life. But also look at things like geography, what countries play what sports, why do they play those sports, looking at the countries that play something like cricket, for example. Why does India, Australia, why are they really big cricketing nations? Yeah, to do with the Commonwealth and history that's happened. Yeah, it links into law because look at the officiating, we look at the laws, how the laws of the game have changed. How have we gone from a game of mob football where there were no laws or rules or officials within that, from getting a rock from one pub to another, which is what I used to do. How have we gone from that to then playing a game where there's 11 people on each team, a nice level football for them to kick, and then you've got someone diving on the floor trying to get a foul from the referee. How it's all changed. That's all developed through this. So you've got the history side of it, the law side of it there, and a bit of geographical. Obviously, it links into the maths and statistics with the angular motion, the linear motion, angular momentum. Some of the aspects we teach of that, they don't actually do in further maths, so it does take you a bit above and beyond. So it is a challenging subject. And food technology obviously links in with our diet and nutrition section. So what sort of diet would an athlete have? Why would a gymnast have a different diet to a rugby player? Why would I have a different player to a year 7? Okay, looking at different age groups, looking at how things change. Key skills that are required in this A-level aren't just in sport. So it's not that you just pick up key skills from practicals through sport that you do. So key skills that you require are analysis of performance. So you'll be able to look at a performance, even if it be someone just talking, you could still pick up and you still analyse aspects that are happening throughout them doing that talk. Self-evaluation, which is a very key thing, so looking at yourself and being able to do it. You do a lot of that through the coursework. Problem solving, so a lot of the maths equations go with this, so angular motion, linear motion. Decision making, obviously a key one in terms of analysis of performance as well. Report writing comes with the coursework, so thinking about how to conduct a test, being able to conduct that test well, and being able to put it down on paper and write what you are reporting. And then obviously leadership. Within PE, even if you're not someone who you see as being a leader, it does help you develop those attributes and develop that confidence to be able to be someone who can look to lead in other aspects as well as PE. So overall, I'll just make sure that you know exactly what it is you want to take. Okay, if PE is that option that you want to do, then that's brilliant. But you do have a choice, and I would advise you to take PE. If you want any more information, then I'm sure we will have a way of contacting each other. You can message me on Show My Homework on the lockdown challenge, as that might be the easiest way of doing it. Okay, thank you.